that's interesting that you say that about Troy Ave, because he actually tried to do, he didn't touch me or anything else like that, but he actually tried to pull the little tough guy shit with me back in the day. I remember it was like, he used to send me music. And I think back then we were like charging for like, placements or whatever. And he was like, yo, man, fuck that shit. You better post my shit or some street shit gonna happen. And I'm like, some street shit gonna happen? Fuck out of here. Right? I'm like, whatever. I ignored that shit, right? And then he got hot, right? He started to get hot. And I remember I approached him and I'm like, yo, do you wanna do an interview? And he was still mad about that shit. And I'm like, Troy, what do you want? You weren't hot back then. So now you're going to hold a grudge that we do want to fuck with you when we didn't want to fuck with you back then? Like, you should have just internalized that. Okay, cool. If Vlad don't want to give me an interview, I just got to, I'm not going to, I'm going to threaten him. And I think that Troy had this fucking grudge and this chip on his shoulder that once he started to get a little bit of momentum, he started to like throw his weight around. And I think that's what ultimately led to that fucked up situation, is that Troy's fucking bitter and mad at the world, doesn't want to enjoy his actual limited success. And it was very limited at that point. It was like local New York success. But, it's like you go to the strip club and you get a little bit of love. And it's like, yo, it's dumb to be that way. In the same way that there are certain artists and celebrities that don't want to interview with me because we're not big enough yet.
Yeah.
At some point, we'll be bigger. And they're going to circle back around.
Hey.
It just is what it is.
Hey, you know my favorite saying? If I don't catch you on your way up, I'll catch you on the way down.
Exactly.
You get me?
Yeah.
Like, the people who they were lightning hot, couldn't even get a response. The moment, they allegedly fell off, act. Let's just do this thing. But
yeah. And something, and when he gets done, like, Lil Reese talked a bunch of shit about me on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. We went back, I didn't even go back and forth. We talked a bunch of shit about me. And at one point, we worked out something that made sense for everyone. I paid him the $1 million for the interview.
Yeah.
And we did it. And it was a dope interview and everyone was happy. No one held grudges over who said what said where. True. Like, get over that shit.
And by the way, to Troy Ave's credit, I think Troy has gotten to the point. I think he realized that. I think he knows that was a misstep. And
somebody ended up dead in the process. His man ended up dead in the process. Yeah, of course he's going to realize it now. Someone's dead. He's still facing charges over that shit.
Yeah, what happened with
Taxstone has been locked up for over 5 years. Oh yeah, now he realizes it's too late, motherfucker. It's too late. Should have realized it a month before that shit happened.
I think a lot of people kind of like just put him to the side. Like I don't have a problem. I think he's a cool guy. I didn't know. He used to, me and him used to kind of get into it, but like I always know, as long as we don't get physical, like if you beat somebody up, it's over. Like there's zero redemption. Yeah. But when people have dissed me and we had the best interviews, so those are always the best interviews.
Yeah, me and Ellie Chopper.
Exactly.
Who you put us on the phone together. Yeah.
Of course. So those things happen. So when, me and Troy weren't seeing eye to eye at first. And I think and again, maybe it is that incident, but I felt either that made him mature, or maybe sometimes when you're not that lightning hot where you think everybody should move the way you want.
Look what happened in that situation leading up to the Taxstone situation. Look what happened with I Love McConan.
Oh yeah, he did. He tossed that guy off the stage, yeah.
No, he didn't toss him off the stage.
Yeah, he had. Yeah.
They had words. McConan didn't like that, what's his name? That Troy had rapped over his beat or something, and he had made a comment about it. And Troy's, wait till you come to New York, we're gonna see you. And he had his man, walk up to the stage, motion to him to talk to him, and then like punch him in the face.
Yeah.
That was the same dude who got killed later on.
Yeah.
Troy was using these dudes as fucking crash dummies to go and work out his own fucking personal beefs with people that he felt slighted. You can go beat up a dude because he didn't like you rapping on his beat. It's his fucking beat.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like he, and it culminated in someone losing their life, which can never be taken back.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate
and one
situation.
or possibly two people going to prison for a very long time. And I don't like that shit. I just don't like it.
That taught me a lot in terms of really, sometimes people be like, yo, they'll use an act like, yo, act, you don't be outside. I'm like, I go out a lot. You want to see me at every listening party or backstage with a million rappers.
Yeah.
And honestly, I look at that situation, I'm like, obviously you hope those two men didn't have issues, and you hope there's so many ways to prevent it before then because it was escalating. But ultimately, you guys should have knew not to be in the same place together.